All right, man, peace. So for those of you brothers who've been on my channel for more than a year, you know what my stance is on the Colin Kaepernick narrative. He's a pawn. He's been used by the Marxists, both national and international, and as a plant in the NFL to try to engineer the NFL and thereby to have the NFL be used as an agent of social engineering overall. And it's partially worked if you pay very close attention. Right now, the NFL has teams that are considering having homosexual cheerleaders. You have more and more NFL teams that have female coaches for whatever reason, even though we already know that's not going to work. You're not going to have females that are weightlifting coaches who will be taken seriously in regards to telling 300-pound men what to do to get stronger. It's just not going to happen. But because you have so many of these Marxist liberal females that are so overly concerned with being around men and showing men that they can teach them things, you're going to have these problems. And Colin Kaepernick has been used as an agent of that. So now Max Kellerman, the resident super liberal Caucasian Jew, he's going to take it to a whole other level. He's going to now advise his favorite team, the New York Giants, to eventually phase out Eli Manning and phase in Colin Kaepernick. That's how you know this guy is desperate to push the discordianist, the agent of chaos dynamic, what they call the Hegelian dialectic, i.e. create the chaotic environment so that you can bring in your own form of order. Max Kellerman, he's a very stereotypical super liberal Caucasian Jew, imbued with that quote-unquote white man's bird mentality, that I know what's best for you mentality. Very disingenuous. There's no way in the world that you're going to tell me that you're a New York Giants fan and you think that the best thing for your team is to phase out Eli Manning and bring in Colin Kaepernick. It would have been something that maybe I would have ingested a little bit easier had he said, let's phase out Eli Manning and prepare to bring in a young quarterback either in the draft or try to trade for one or something along those lines. But just the fact that he brought up Colin Kaepernick again shows me, and it should show anyone who's paying attention, how desperate the super liberal media is to keep Colin Kaepernick's name in the news. So you have to ask yourself, why is the mainstream liberal sports media so desperate to keep Colin Kaepernick's name out there? What do they have to gain from this? But anyway, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
Former Giants Super Bowl champ Victor Cruz. How's good to see you?
What's up, man? Happy Monday, guys. Yes, sir.
Happy Monday. Oh, Matt.
Yep.
Confident in your boy moving forward?
Eli Manning?
Yeah, Eli.
He was terrible. No, he's the only reason Eli is a starting NFL quarterback is because he has Odell Beckham and now Saquon Barkley. And
No, sir, not quite. The only reason why Eli Manning is still a starting quarterback in the NFL is because his last name is Manning. That's why.
I was deluded in the last several years. Not really.
Well, you've been deluded about a lot of things, but it's good to see you acknowledge that, because delusion seems to be something that you're very well acquainted with, Max Kellerman.
Really understanding how Odell was keeping him looking like a low-average NFL quarterback. Mm-hmm. He was terrible. The picks that used to be other guys' fault, those aren't other guys' faults anymore. To Evans twice, the same area, this field, the same play.
Max Kellerman, I have news for you. Eli Manning has been consistently in the top 3 or 4 quarterbacks when it comes to interceptions over the course of his entire career. Is nothing new. So this notion that you're just discovering that Eli Manning is not that good, all that does is it fosters the belief that maybe we should not take you seriously on any of your sports or societal takes.
So bad. And eventually, yes, he got, listen, do I think Eli can still be clutch? Hell yeah. Fate of the universe on the line, I need a play. Would I trust Eli? Yeah, he's still clutch. Is he still tough? Yeah, but this is not the end.
That's one thing he definitely is. Eli's tough as hell.
The answer. It's not the answer now, it's not the answer going forward. They're 1-4 now, and let me tell you what they need to do right now. The New York Football Giants need to sign Colin Kaepernick right now. They need a dynamic quarterback, a starting caliber NFL quarterback, which Kaepernick is.
No, sir. Colin Kaepernick is neither dynamic nor is he a starting quarterback for a team that has playoff aspirations. Once again, it's so amazing to me how soon people have forgotten how easy it was for the front office, the coaching staff, and the players on the San Francisco 49ers to turn against Kaepernick before his so-called protest. People are forgetting this. The notions that were coming out of the San Francisco locker room was that he was a terrible leader. He had no communication skills. He had cordoned himself off from his teammates. He wasn't communicative at all with the wide receivers, and that he was retreating into his shell, which is ironic because he was known for having a gigantic pet turtle. For those of us who remember the rise of Colin Kaepernick, he was known for having a gigantic pet turtle. And who knows, that animal may have been part of his programming. Because there's no doubt in my mind that there was a certain component of his personality that was set off or enabled by Miss Ness Nitty.
To pair with the best, the most talented wideout I have ever seen, and yes, that includes Randy Moss in Odell Beckham Jr., and the most talented running back prospect I've ever seen in Saquon Barkley.
Something is wrong with Max Kellerman. It's very obvious to me that he's on some type of drug, allegedly, either prescription or non-prescription or illegal. For him to say that Odell Beckham is the most talented wide receiver that he's ever seen, even more than Randy Moss. I'm on record as saying that Jerry Rice is the best wide receiver that I've ever seen, but the most talented is Randy Moss, and it's not even particularly that close. Where Randy Moss loses out on Jerry Rice is he does not have the wrinkles that Jerry Rice had. But Odell Beckham is phenomenal in regards to natural talent. But compared to Randy Moss, no, I'm not sure that there's anything that Odell does better than Randy. Because at this point, he does not even catch the ball as well as Randy did. Odell has a lot of drops now. He's not better on the deep routes than Randy. He's not a better game breaker than Randy. He does not have better hands than Randy. He's not faster than Randy. So I'm just not seeing that. I'm sorry. In regards to Mr. Colin Kaepernick, you would have to show me something that he's done recently. And I'm talking about before he was no longer given an NFL contract or before he had this issue with signing with teams. You would have to have shown me something in between 2014 and 2016 where I could say, okay, he still has it. Right now, he's 30 years old. He's done. If that's the case, how come nobody's saying, where's Josh Freeman? Let's sign Josh Freeman, the former quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
To mention Evan Ingram when he comes back. I like the defense on this team when Olivier Vernon comes back with Betcher's defense. I like that. I think they'll be getting more sacks and all that. I like the team. They're going to figure out right tackle eventually. They have to, but the line is in much better shape than it used to be. But the quarterback play is killing this team. Now, does Kaepernick walk in off the street and become the starter? Of course not. But they're 1-4 now. The season's lost.
So, Max Kellerman, your point is what? They're 1-4. They have a quarterback in Eli Manning who's 37, 38 years old. So they should bring in a washed-up 30-year-old, soon-to-be 31-year-old Colin Kaepernick, and he's going to take the team to the next level. That's how you know that this guy, Max Kellerman, he cannot possibly be sincere. Because I don't think that even he is that stupid. I just don't think that. And that's what the super liberal Caucasian, particularly the super liberal Caucasian Jew, what they're best at is trying to make you think, as a so-called black person, that they're smart enough to lead you or that they're actually sincere in many of their statements. It would not surprise me if Max Kellerman is on the take from one of these Marxist organizations to keep Colin Kaepernick's name out there. And possibly he was paid to say that the Giants should replace Eli Manning with Colin Kaepernick. Or maybe he was told that if in the event that there's a starting quarterback across the NFL that's struggling, we want you to bring Colin's name up. Because this just makes no sense to me. None whatsoever.
And if it's not lost, if they make a comeback, great.
It's not lost at all, man.
Well, great. If they can come back because the division's weak, if Washington loses tonight, good for them. And then they can develop Kaepernick as an answer because Eli ain't going to do this next year. And
remember, the Giants still have a lot of divisional games left to be played. This guy, Max Kellerman, he's ready to jump off the boat already. That's why it's very obvious that there's something rotten in Denmark in regards to why he's so quick to bring up Colin Kaepernick's name. Look at Stephen A. Smith's face. Stephen A. Smith is looking at Max Kellerman like something is up with this dude. Stephen A. Smith is starting to figure out a lot of shit. It's taken him long enough, but he's finally starting to come around to many of the sentiments that I've been broaching on this channel for the last 2 years. He's finally starting to figure out Max Kellerman and the fact that it appears that he has dual allegiances, not just to the show and giving honest takes, but that there is a faction that is in Max Kellerman's ear or that is paying him to say certain things. I have no doubt in my mind about that. Allegedly.
And Loretta, I don't think is going to be ready next year anyway. But Kaepernick might be ready to play if he gets involved in the system right now by the late of this year. And by the way, if they do start to make a run, but Eli's play starts to falter, you have an option there. You can't run.
Let me say this. Since the Giants are already in on Odell Beckham and they've decided to go the entertainment route, they might as well just sign Colin Kaepernick from that perspective. But don't tell me that you're going to bring in Colin Kaepernick to win, because he's not going to give you a better chance to win over Eli Manning. There's no doubt about that in my mind. Eli Manning is a better quarterback than Colin Kaepernick. And Eli Manning is not even very good. But Colin Kaepernick is terrible.
Run our RPOs with Eli Manning? Can you imagine running them with Saquon Barkley when you have Odell Beckham Jr. and Evan Ingram with a guy as dynamic as Kaepernick? And think about this, guys. The day he signs with the New York Football Giants, if nothing else, you know what the #1 selling jersey on planet Earth is in any sport? Number 7, New York Giants. That'd be #1 right away.
Well, are you concerned about winning, or are you concerned about how much money the Giants could make? Why would you even bring that up unless you were prompted to maybe say that in a conversation like this? And maybe you're getting a little kickback, sir. Allegedly.
He will be the biggest star in the biggest market. Everyone says, oh, he plays in San Francisco because it's a blue state. How about New York City? They need him right now, and they need to start developing him in their system right now. He's the best available answer at quarterback, and the Giants need an answer at quarterback.
Finished?
Sure.
That was an ignorant position to take.
Thank you, sir. I could not have said it better myself. I wouldn't even say that it was ignorant. I would say that it was transparently idiotic.
Take as far as I'm saying about Colin Kaepernick. I use the word ignorant because you sit up there and talk like this. We just saw this brother last week and he can ball.
Thank you, sir.
Colin Kaepernick, the last time we really saw this guy, he was 1-10 as a starter. 3-16 in his last 19 starts. Career-wise, he's completed less than 60% of his passes. Now, there's no question he would be an upgrade. Anybody would be an upgrade from Eli Manning when it comes to running the football from the quarterback position, because we know that Colin Kaepernick can move. But when you talk about Ingram, and you talk about Odell Beckham Jr., and you talk about Sterling Shepard, and you talk about...
Let me say this. I don't give a damn how well your quarterback can run. You're not winning Super Bowls unless your quarterback can throw the football down the field with accuracy. I don't give a shit. In this NFL, you have to have a quarterback that can throw the football down the field with accuracy. That's the bottom line of that. If you don't have that, you're not going to win.
Saquon